Welcome back, everybody. All right, so let's go ahead and let's model a different kind of spaceship here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push delete here, and I'm going to add in a cylinder, and I'm going to push RX90, and there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tab into edit mode, and what I'll do is I'll simply move this out like this. Now, the way Blender works is that you have a primitive and you use a primitive, which is any one of these objects here, cubes, uh, spheres, etc., and you model them to what you want them to be. So one thing I am going to do is I'm going to scale this in like that here, and I can even move this back if I want to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push 1, I'm going to select this face, and I'm going to delete that face right there. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and select all of these vertices here at the bottom here. And this is something that you might have to do manually. You could push B to box select, but it might not work. So I'm going to push X and delete the vertices here. And if you really wanted to, we could delete these vertices here as well. We are going to be adding in some kind of face to that there, and let's simply do that here. All right, push X, vertices here. Okay, so now we have a very nice kind of fuselage here. Now on top of this, let's go back to our tools here, and let's go to loop cut. And I'm going to use the mouse wheel. Now you can do this as many times as you want. So if you move it up and down, you can add in some more cuts there. I think this is probably going to be good around here. Okay, something more like that. Okay, and we're just going to click that there, and you can kind of move these wherever you want. I think that is perfect, and that just looks pretty cool in my opinion. Okay. Now, let's add in a couple of things here. Let's hop into 1, and by 1 I mean 7. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push B to box select, and I'm going to push X and delete these vertices here. And you just have to make sure we select them all, the ones that we want here. That's not the one we want. And is there, push X, vertice. All right, there's a couple here that we missed. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to push X, delete these vertices here. Now you're probably thinking, what's going on? Tab back into object mode, and what I'll do is add a modifier, and of course, we're going to be adding in this mirror modifier. Pretty nifty, right? Okay, so here we go. Let's start modeling. Let's add in some cool, so I'm just going to extrude this, scale this. I'm actually going to scale this down along the Z axis. Okay, so scale it along the Z axis, and there we go. And we can actually even just move this down just a bit, and we can extrude this here along the X axis, just something like that. And I'll extrude this here. Pretty nifty, right? All right, now one thing we can also do is we could hop into edge select, push the Alt, and we could click that here, but looks like there's too much here. So I'm actually just going to select all of these here, and I'm going to push F for face. Now we're going to have to add in a couple of extra vertices here in order for that to work, but for the most part we'll deal with that in a second here. And most likely we might have to before we edit this, we might have to actually close it down before we add in a face to that at the bottom there. So let's add in some wings, and this is a really pretty simple spaceship actually. Let's select maybe these 4. I'm going to push extrude. I'm just going to make sure these are kind of flat-ish. All right, and one of the things I like to do is kind of move this back. There we go. We got some nice wings in there. And push E to extrude, of course, scaling them along the X-axis. E to extrude, and E to extrude again, and we can scale that in. Now that one's a little bit too big, so we'll just kind of do that there. Yeah. So I think that looks kind of cool. Although this last one here, if we kind of look at 3, just going to move this over. That last one there didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to. In fact, I'm going to just undo that here. Make sure we're scaling this along the x-axis. Scale that in. So we'll keep that here. Extrude along the x-axis and scale that in. Okay, we can go and we can actually select these top here. If we really wanted to, we can kind of move that up just a bit. And we'll hop into edge select mode. And we will kind of do this here. I'm going to just move that back. And that actually looks quite a bit cooler. We'll hop in, select this edge here, and we'll move that in too. And this vertex, you can see it's causing a little bit of problems. So I'm just going to move it like that. Okay, there we go. And that actually looks kind of neat. And what I'm going to do actually is I am going to end this tutorial just because it's already at 6 minutes. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.